And we now get to the latest details from the G20 Summit in Johannesburg, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi just a short while ago delivered his opening address at the summit. Prime Minister Modi outlined three path-breaking new initiatives. One, Global Traditional Knowledge Repository. The second, G20-Africa Skills Multiplier Initiative. And the third one, which was G20 Initiative on Countering Drug-Terror Nexus. Let me straight away take this to my colleague Pranay Upadhyay, who joins us with more information on what the larger plan was as Prime Minister Narendra Modi came up with these initiatives. Over to you, Pranay.
So, Isha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a key session on inclusive growth during the G20 sessions, and in which Prime Minister clearly highlighted that G20 is an important forum which decides the global financial management, global growth management. Though many things have been achieved via G20, but the key problem, that the real issue being faced by the developing countries, because despite all the best intent, the G20 and the global financial management failed to deliver the promises to a wider population, and therefore it is paramount, it is important that the target of not leaving anyone behind and making the global financial management an inclusive model is required. And for that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi suggested three key initiatives. You mentioned about the initiative on the global knowledge repository. This is a very important thing. Africa has traditional knowledge. India has also launched, some decades ago, a traditional TKDL, traditional knowledge library initiative, and how to frame the traditional knowledge, the repository of civilization states, into the modern science, and how to bridge the gap and how to implement it. That is key, and that is important for the mainstreaming of the African continent as well. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi initiated this, has proposed this traditional knowledge repository initiative. Besides that, he also suggested a skill multiplier initiative, which is important, and through which he said that let the G countries fund an initiative through which 1 million trainers should be trained first, and so that they can multiply their training and they can skill the wider population of Africa for the integration into the development stream and for the global manpower requirement. So that is also a very important thing. And third initiative suggested by Prime Minister Modi is to address the larger challenge of terror and narco-terrorism. And that is a challenge which is not only being faced by India, but India wants that challenge to be addressed globally. And Africa is facing this challenge to a wider amount. And we know that how the synthetic drugs are putting challenge to a wider population and putting it a global health risk as far as the African continent is concerned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also mentioned the challenge being posed by the synthetic drugs like fentanyl. In fact, you will recall, Suesha, that President Donald Trump also talks a lot about the fentanyl drug, and he has also launched an initiative. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a way, though President Donald Trump is not there in the G20 summit, but he addressed that issue, and he said that synthetic drugs like fentanyl pose key challenge, and therefore we should fight it together. Global narco-terrorism nexus is a global challenge, because the narcotics money, the illicit drug money, comes to for the terrorism, for the spread of terrorism, and that is that is required to address the challenge of terrorism as well as the illicit drugs. And for that, India has suggested this key initiative to address the problem of narco and terrorism.
All right, Pranay, I want to thank you for getting us the very latest.